You know something's off when Whoopi Goldberg isn't smiling. The usual energy in the room is gone, replaced by an almost tangible tension. The lights are dimmed lower than usual, and the chatter has faded into an eerie silence. There she sits, blinking rapidly, her lips pressed into a tight line. Her hands tremble slightly as they grip the edge of the courtroom table. This isn't the scripted reality of daytime television. This is something much more raw, much more real, and across the room, staring her down with a calm yet piercing gaze, is none other than Carrie Underwood. Yes, that Carrie Underwood, the country music superstar, Grammy winner, and now a warrior on a mission for media accountability. This time, Carrie isn't holding a microphone. She's holding an $800 million defamation lawsuit aimed directly at Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny host, and the very network that gave them their platform, ABC. It all started with what seemed like a harmless jab, a passing comment that in hindsight should never have being made, but a few words flippantly tossed out soon spiraled into something much larger, leading to a courtroom battle no one expected. And now, as Whoopi sits there visibly cracking under the pressure, Carrie is steady, composed, watching it all unfold with a quiet resolve. This isn't just a legal dispute, it's something deeper. It's a cultural reckoning that's playing out right before the eyes of the nation. Whether you're a fan of daytime talk shows or not, this case is about more than just words. It's about the power of media accountability and the impact that a single remark can have. The whole mess began innocuously enough with what was supposed to be just another performance. Carrie Underwood, beloved country music icon with millions of fans across the globe, was invited to sing at Donald Trump's second inauguration celebration. She agreed. For her, it wasn't about political allegiance or personal endorsement. It was about using her voice to unify people, to show that music transcends politics, that a song can bring people together no matter where they stand on the political spectrum. But what was meant to be a simple moment of unity quickly became a lightning rod for controversy. The backlash was swift, and the judgment that followed from some members of the media, including those on The View, was harsh and unforgiving. What began as performance turned into something much darker, leading Carrie to take a stand not just for herself but for everyone who believes in the integrity of the media and the power of words. Now, with the lawsuit on the table, this isn't just a fight over a few hurtful comments. It's a reckoning, and it's one that will undoubtedly leave a mark on the world of daytime television media influence and the way we view celebrity responsibility.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain, America.
But when the camera started rolling the next morning on The View, chaos quickly ensued. Joy Behar wasted no time flashing that trademark smirk of haze. Carrie Underwood, she declared, flinging her hands into the air as if dismissing something beneath her as either completely oblivious or actively involved. The crowd's response was split. Some clapped, others were visibly shocked, but the discussion kept going undeterred.
She says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion?
Sunny host leaned in, her gaze as piercing as ever, ready to land her own blow. Let's call it what it is. Carrie's siding with that administration isn't about unity, it's about aligning with hate. Then Whoopi Goldberg, with a grin that practically screamed, I'm about to break the internet, leaned into the MIC and quipped, oh, Carrie must think this is just another country tune, sweetheart. This isn't a love song. This is a political catastrophe. The studio erupted in laughter. The crew even chuckled along. The conversation moved on, and just like that, Carrie's name vanished from the teleprompter. But behind the scenes in Cars, well, the damage had already been done. Unlike most celebrities, she didn't fire back with a snarky tweet or post a tearful video on TikTok. There were no black and white selfies with emotional captions. What did she do instead? She grabbed the phone and called her lawyer. Sources close to her say she was taken aback by the harshness of the attacks. This wasn't political commentary. This was personal, a full-on character assassination master's TV banter. It wasn't just the words, it was a tone, the mocking, the setup.
I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
Well, they wouldn't ask me, so I have no...
Right.
Carrie had finally had enough. Just weeks after that infamous The View episode aired, she filed what quickly became one of the most talked about lawsuits in TV history. The amount, a staggering $800 million. The defendants, Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Host, and of course ABC itself, the charge defamation, media bullying, and a deliberate attempt to tear down a woman who simply performed a song at a political event. Cars legal team relentless. They came prepared with a mountain of evidence that would send any public relations professional into a tailspin. They had the full transcript of the segment, behind-the-scene production notes, and even internal emails with titles like Use Carrie to Stir Outrage. One producer reportedly wrote, "We need a spark tomorrow, let Joy go after the patriotism angle, Whoopi can deliver the final blow." And just like that, everything began to fall apart. Carr's lawsuit revealed this wasn't a one-off outburst, it wasn't some spontaneous rant, it was a calculated, coordinated attack designed for ratings. In the wake of that segment, Carrie lost a lucrative endorsement deal. With a health brand, a coveted performance spot at an award show was mysteriously cancelled, and there were whispers that she had become too controversial to work with, but rather than back down, Carrie stood firm in her official statement to the press. She didn't hold back. "This is not about political parties. This is about respect. It's unacceptable for any woman, regardless of her views, to be dragged through the mud, mocked, and targeted on live TV simply for doing her job." The View, they didn't apologize. They didn't even acknowledge the lawsuit. At first, they mocked her. They laughed it off. They underestimated Carrie. Now they're not laughing as the lawsuit gained traction. Headlines: "Exploded Carrie Underwood sues The View for $800 million. View host under fire for targeted character attack." Inside the lawsuit that could change daytime TV forever. And Carrie, she kept her composure. No media blitz, no shade throwing. She let the legal documents do the talking. The message was loud and clear. This wasn't just about Carrie. It was about the culture of cruelty, the unchecked power, and the reckless bullying perpetuated by some of TV's most influential voices. And now that power is being challenged one lawsuit at a time.
Carrie Underwood will take the stage at Trump's inauguration singing America the Beautiful. She said to the Post, "I love our country and I'm honored to have been asked to sing at the inauguration and to be a small part of this historic event. I am humbled to answer the call at a time when we must all come together in the spirit of unity and looking to the future." Well, that wasn't good enough for the tolerant left, of course, who is outraged over Carrie being outed as MAGA. X is blowing up with jokes about how she should sing her hit song Before He Cheats. Some are calling for her to be boycotted and canceled.
The first day in court wasn't just dramatic, it felt like a blockbuster movie unfolding before everyone's eyes. High-stakes tension, media frenzy, the whole shebang outside the courthouse. Camera flashes erupted like a swarm of fireworks, while a line of spectators snaked around the block, all eager for a glimpse of what was quickly becoming known as a media trial of the decade. Carrie Underwood was the first to arrive. No red carpet, no entourage, just a sharp navy blue Powers suit, her blonde hair pulled back into a sleek ponytail, and a quiet confidence that practically screamed, "I'm here to win this." She didn't wave to the press. She didn't pose for the camera. She walked with purpose, cool, calm, and composed. It was a kind of grace you expect from someone who'd been dragged through the mud only to rise out of it stronger than ever. Then came Whoopi Goldberg. The contrast couldn't have been more stark. Draped in a heavy black coat and dark sunglasses, Whoopi stepped out of a car with tight lips and a rigid posture. The carefree talk show queen was nowhere to be found. In her place stood a woman, staring down the reality of a legal nightmare, her signature smirk absent. No jokes, no eye contact, just pure tension. Inside the courtroom, the drama reached new heights. Carrie sat quietly at the plaintiff's table, occasionally leaning in to speak with her attorneys across the room. Whoopi fidgeted, nervously avoiding anyone's gaze, her fingers dug into the armrest like she was trying to hold on for dear life. Carr's legal team wasted no time. They kicked off with sequence of video clips that hit like a ton of bricks. The jury watched as Joy Behar mocked Carrie's patriotism. Sunny host ridiculed her morality, and Whoopi oh Whoopi laughed at her intelligence and faith. The room was electric, and the battle lines were drawn.
I say.
I mean, right? And it's country music. I think
I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't do it, even though I can't sing.
You would not sing?
No, I would not. I would not normalize him. And she says, "I love our country." How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion?
The jury, once the judges' frown deepened, and then the real bombshells dropped. Emails, call logs, and internal memos straight from the heart of ABC's operations. One email from producer read, "Carrie's segment tomorrow. Let Joy push hard on patriotism. Whoopi can finish with something scathing." Another one, "She's sensitive," hit the Trump note guaranteed fluster. The courtroom, already on edge, was now sitting on a powder keg. But what came next? It was nothing short of nuclear. A voice memo blared over the speakers, unmistakable. Whoopi's voice recorded off air during a rehearsal. "Let's stir the pot. I want this one rattled. She's not going to cry, but I bet she folds a room." When dead silent, you could hear the rustle of reporters furiously scribbling notes outside the courtroom. The camera started buzzing louder. Whoopi lowered her head. Visibly shaken witnesses say she leaned in and whispered something to her attorney, then buried her face in her hands. At one point, she was seen wiping away what appeared to be tears with a tissue. This wasn't just a public relations nightmare. It was a career unraveling in real time. Carrie, she didn't flinch. She didn't say a word. She let the facts do all the talking. Her eyes stayed fixed on the screen. No smack, no gloating, just a calm, resolute presence. A woman who'd finally been heard. Legal experts watching from home immediately took to social media, hailing it as one of the most brilliant court presentations they'd ever seen. One tweet read, "This isn't just a case, it's a cultural reckoning, and this was only the beginning."
What do y'all think?
I personally hope we're moving beyond the era of politics where we want to cancel people's livelihoods because we don't like their politics. And whether it was the Dixie Chicks for criticizing George Bush, didn't agree with it then, and Carrie Underwood, if you have a problem, you register your complaint by not downloading her songs and not going to her shows.
Right.
But I also think from a business standpoint, it's not a bad decision for Carrie Underwood. 75 million people voted for Trump. Artists tend to skew left-leaning, so she's overnight going to become an icon of MAGA and the American right. She's probably going to make a lot of money off of it. So I get why she did it.
As the courtroom session wrapped for the day, the real chaos erupted back at ABC headquarters. Executives were in full-blown panic mode. Sources revealed that emergency meetings had been held every night since Carrie filed her lawsuit. But after day one in court, those meetings escalated into high-stakes crisis summits. One ABC staffer described the mood as DEFCON 1, an internal memo that leaked online titled Urgent, managing the Carrie fallout. Painted a bleak picture. Advertisers were pulling out. One major sponsor, reportedly worth over $20 million annually, sent a sharply worded letter to ABC expressing grave concerns over the unfolding situation. Others quickly followed suit. Meanwhile, viewership numbers began to drop. The show that had once dominated daytime TV was now becoming a liability. Joy Behar, known for her outspoken nature, has reportedly expressed regret. Behind-the-scenes insiders say she's stunned by how badly things have spiraled. Sunani Hostan, who has a legal background, has gone completely radio silent in public appearances. Rumor has it she's securing her own legal counsel, but the real focus, Whoopi ABC, is reportedly reviewing her contract, with talk of suspension or even termination circulating behind closed doors. Executives are scrambling to assess whether Whoopi is still worth the risk. After all, she's not just the face of the show, she's now the face of an $800 million legal disaster. Some insiders hint that it's not just this case at play, it's part of a larger pattern. Years of unchecked commentary, controversial opinions, and on-air attacks. And Carrie, she's not backing down. She released another statement through her team. This is about every artist, every guest, and every viewer who's been humiliated for entertainment. It ends now. The fallout was no longer just corporate. It had become cultural. Commentators were asking, had The View pushed too far for too long? Was it time for daytime TV to face the same standards as the rest of the industry? And perhaps most pressing, if Carrie Underwood wins this case, what happens next? Because this isn't merely about clearing her name, it's about reshaping the entire industry. And Whoopi, she might have just taken her final seat on The View.
Listen, take him seriously and take him literally.
I don't think that we have to. I think it would be remiss of us to not say Joe Biden knows how to do this. Yes, he knows how to do this. He's quite good at this. And you know, you can't refute anything with him because he just, when I say him, I mean
he rambles.
Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just.
But can I mention one thing?
Social media didn't just react, it exploded. Within minutes of the courtroom footage leaking, every platform ignited. Twitter threads spread like wildfire. TikTok creators were editing and posting clips faster than the algorithm could keep up. Instagram flooded with memes, reactions, and full-on takedowns of The View. Hashtags like "But Carrie claps back," "View on trial," "Justice for Carrie," and "Media accountability" weren't just trending, they were taking over the digital landscape. Millions of people, many who weren't even fans of Carrie Underwood, suddenly found themselves rallying behind her. One viral TikTok featured a split screen. On one side, Carrie walked into court with calm confidence, her sleek navy suit a picture of focus and resolve. On the other, a rattled Whoopi Goldberg sat in court, visibly shaken. The audio, a remix of Car's hit song Blown Away, perfectly synced to the moment the courtroom went still after her legal team played the explosive off-air voice memo. It was a perfect storm of emotion, timing, and drama, and the internet couldn't get enough.
Listen, like over here on streaming, like in this land, it's all about authenticity. You can talk about politics. You can talk about a lot of stuff. In fact, your crazy Whoopi, she might actually have a better following online than she does in the sort of traditional, shall we say, network environment. But they can't figure that out, I guess, either that or she's holding out for more money. I kind of wonder if she's in the middle of contract negotiations. And that's in part why she stopped spitting when she says the president's name. After all, he won.
Then the memes started pouring in. One showed Carrie holding a microphone in one hand and a thick stack of court papers in the other, eyes fierce, with the caption, "You mess with the wrong girl." Another had Whoopi in her signature sunglasses with the text, "Said it on air, paid for it in court." Even comedians joined the chaos. One late-night comic joked Whoopi thought she was on The View. Turns out she was starring in Law & Order. Celebrity Unit podcast hosts, YouTube commentators, and legal analysts quickly jumped in with their 2 cents. Conservative media hailed Carrie for finally standing up to the left-wing TV elite. Progressive voices were divided. Some defended The View, while others admitted the host had crossed a line. And the best part, Carrie didn't say a word online, no tweets, no Instagram stories, no interviews. She let the internet do all the talking for her. Meanwhile, ABC was scrambling to regain control of a narrative that had already bolted out the door, dragging the world along with it. This wasn't just about Carrie Underwood. It was about something much larger, the quiet shift that had been building for years, a rising resentment toward media figures who use a platform to mock, belittle, and destroy reputation for the sake of entertainment. And now the line between satire and slander was clear. Carrie was drawing it in thick, bold red ink. She didn't storm out of the courtroom shouting about cancel culture. She didn't play the victim. She simply walked and laid out the facts and let the evidence speak for itself. And the evidence, it was deafening. This lawsuit wasn't just a defamation claim. It was about holding the media accountable for its unchecked power, something very few have had the courage to challenge. And even fewer have succeeded at. If Carrie wins, it could set a precedent that would forever change. Television talk show hosts might actually have to think before they speak. Producers could start reconsidering those gotcha moments, and networks like ABC, they might realize that reputation is no longer just a punchline, it's a liability. Whoopi Goldberg may have built her brand on being bold and unfiltered, but this time that boldness came with real consequences. She thought she was hosting another Spicer segment on The View. What she didn't anticipate was Carrie Underwood walking into court not with a guitar, but with cold hard proof, now with a whole world watching. The only sound louder than the courtroom whispers is a silence from The View. Now it's your turn. Do you think Whoopi crossed a line? Was Carrie right to sue? Should The View face consequences for what its host said? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. Like this video if you believe in standing up for what's right. Subscribe so you don't miss any more twists in this courtroom showdown, because if Whoopi is breaking down in court, you can bet Carrie is just getting started. Stay tuned.